Hello everybody, this is Evan with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today I'm going to bring you a slightly different video. It is going to be a review slash playthrough of Coffee Roasters. So it is a one-player solo game by Stronghold Games. So I'm going to go set this up here and take you through the different things for the game, and we'll finish up with a run-through of a game of Coffee Roasters, and then we'll talk about final thoughts. Alright. Alright everyone, so we're setting up here for a game of Coffee Roasters. So I have the board kind of set up right here. This is going to be the main play area here. And in this game we're going to get our coffee, and this is going to show us what we need to set up. And what we're going to do is we're going to get beans, and these tokens are going to represent beans. We're going to have to roast them and then brew a really good cup of coffee based on those beans. So in setup here, what it starts is we have to have these 5 different tokens here, and they're going to be randomly divvied up here in these 5 different slots. And we're going to flip them over here. In each game, they're always going to be in different positions. And then to finish setting up here, what we're going to do is we come up here into our roast track, and this is going to tell us that we need some smoke counters here and here. So we come into the bin, and one nice thing I'm going to say is located into here. It's this nice tray, and everything is separated nicely. And on the bottom it tells you where everything goes, so it makes setting up, cleaning up very, very nice. So up here we're going to need 2 smoke here and 3 smoke here, so we come to the bin, grab those out, and what these mean I will go over here in a few moments. And we're going to grab our cards. So this game comes with a whole bunch of different types of coffee, and in here we're going to pick one of the beginner ones here, and it's going to tell us exactly what we need to put in the bag. So the game comes with this bag here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the contents here. So we need 14 of these zeros. Okay, so 14. They go right into the bag. So we need some moisture. That's 2 of those. Go right in there. A bad bean. So there's going to be some bad beans in here, some burnt beans, and a couple other things like that. And they're worth negative points in the end, but we'll go through scoring here in a little bit. Okay. Over here on the side, you're going to see these 3 different colors there. So what these 3 different colors, they represent different attributes for the coffee that you're going to make. With those attributes, they also play into this lower section here, where you can get various different abilities, or you can unlock these different tiles that you can get. So we need 2 of the red, and that represents the body. We need 3 green. That represents acidity. And we need 2 blues, which is going to be aroma. So we're going to take them and we're just going to put them right here in the bag. And then we're going to close up the bag and give it a good shake, and we're going to set off to the side for right now. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what's on here and a couple more things that are going on here onto the board, and then we're going to go through this round. So the game actually, once you get it set up and you start going, it only takes 10 or 15 minutes, so it's actually a fairly quick playthrough on the game. So up here on the roast track, it's going to tell you where to put your turn marker. So right here is pointing to 9, so we're going to put that right there. then we have the game set up and we actually can begin. So I'm going to talk about some of the things here on the board. So right here is your strength guide, so you can, as you go along, you can keep track of your strength. So strength is very important. We'll bring this guy back up here. So your roast points. So in your coffee cup at the end of the game, when you're drawing the beans out to make your good cup of coffee, it's going to tell you where you want to get your strength in. So this type of coffee, Sierra Mastre, you want to get it 14 points. So as the beans get stronger, you're going to have different values on them. You can see I got 2s and 3s and 4s. There's a 1 there. You want this total to be right in that sweet spot, in that 14. Could be a little under, could be a little over, but maximum points is there. And then you have flavor points. So the different like bodies and aromas is going to show you want one of each. You only have a limited amount of those, but you want to try and say one of each for in here, and then you want to get them into here also, because that's going to help for the flavor into the coffee, and also get you bonus points at the end. There's this separate score sheet here if you can get the various points, but we'll go over exactly how this scores out at the end. So you're looking to try and get this all together here. As I said, you only have the limited amount of those blues, greens, and reds, but you also need them for in here. So what all this area talks about is when every round on your roast is going to tell you how many of your beans that you're going to pull out of the bag. So right now we're on 9, so the first round we're going to pull out 9. And then you're going to look at it. So beans that are at like 0 are going to move up to the next strength. So you pull out the 0s, put them back in as 1s. And that's where you would keep track of this if you want to keep track. You don't have to. That's an optional thing. It's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So any of those you want to pull out. So if you pull out moisture, they automatically go back in the box. Any of the bad stuff, such as smoke, once it goes into the bag, or if you have the bad beans or burnt beans, they automatically go back into the bag. Now there's this spot here that lets you remove any of the bad things that you've pulled out of the bag for a round, and you can spend one of those red, green, or blues into the square. And you can see the rest of these are corresponding. If you want to unlock, say, this spot, which goes right here, and it's guaranteed a 3 for your coffee cup, you have to spend one of these in a green to do that. This is a sweetness, which would go here. Some coffees in the later require the sweetness, so likewise, exactly the same. One of those 3 in a green. When you're pulling at the end, you keep pulling till you fill your coffee cup, but you can take bad ones and actually put them off to the side. This opens up another extra 2 spots, so you need one of the 3 and a red to do that, and so on and so forth. Now, in order to place a red, a green, or a blue into one of these squares, you have to use that for what it is. Now, if you look closely at these, they're going to tell you exactly how you can use them. So, the blue one, you can take a bean that has a value on it and split it into 2 smaller values. So that if you have a 4, you can split it to 2 2s or a 3 1, or any combination thereof. You can't split it to a 0 or anything like that. Likewise, the red, you can combine 2 beans and make them into 1 bean. So you could take a 1 and a 2 and make it a 3, 2 2s to make it a 4. Now you can never use a 0 for any of that combining. You can't, go trying to get a bean out like of the bag and add it for like a 2 and a 0 to leave the 2 in there. That does not work, so you can't kind of loophole things around with that one. So the green one is you can preserve a bean. What that means is you can take a bean, put it back into the bag without it increasing its value. So let's take it through around here. Oh, before I forget, this special spot up here. So if you put a 0 value bean and a 1 value bean, you actually get this guy, which is a wild. It can be used for any 3 or any one of the 3 colors. Then also we have this side here, which I should mention. They have some things that can go on with that. So these are called immediate effects that you can do. And this over here on this side is called cup effects. As you can see, it affects the cup. What's really nice too is if you ever have a question exactly what's these symbols here, in the rule book there's a appendix area that'll give you a description of exactly what they do. So if you spend the red in here, you can pull 2 additional out of the bag. This one right here is you can select 2 new tokens. So select 2 tokens out of the bag, mix the contents, put them back into the bag and draw 2 new ones out. This one here is 2 out of 5, so you draw 5, pull 2 out of that 5. And by pull, I mean you pull the 5 out of the bag. You take out of those 5, you take 2, put the 2 in the garbage, put 3 back into the bag. So you're kind of sifting through and getting rid of some undesirables. And this one, like I already mentioned, is straight up removal of any bad tokens that you want out of that. You got the bag all readied up, so we're gonna go and run through a game of coffee roasters and see if we can make a pretty good cup of Sierra Madre coffee. So we're gonna shake this up here a little more. And then, like it says here, we're gonna do 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So put the bag off to the side. So let's assess what we have here. So we got 3 0 beans. We pulled all 3 of the green ones here. A red. This guy. So what this one is, it's a green bean. So when it goes back in, it's actually going to be a 0 when it goes back in. But we want to make sure we get all of these out that we can, because they're worth, anything that has an X at the bottom is worth negative points at the end. And then we got a moisture. So first things first, whenever you draw from the bag, any moistures you have automatically just go right into the bin. So it's really early in the game, so there's nothing down here that I want to try and use. I don't want to really assess anything like that. So we're going to take all of our special tokens, put them back in the bag. So we're going to take this guy and we're just going to turn it into a 0. So right back into the bag. And these 3 zeros, I'm going to take 2 and turn them into 1s. And now they go back in the bag. The 0, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to stick it in here. So I'm going to try and get the 1 here next round or 2, and hopefully that will unlock me to get this wild. Since we only have the limited amount in here, we want to try and maximize as much as we can for when we make that cup of coffee. So we just completed our first round, so everything's back in the bag. The round goes here. So right here, it's the extra high roast. So any of the smoke that was in here go into the bag. And right here, this 2 up. So any beans that we roast, instead of going up 1 value, are going to go up 2 value. So we're going to shake the bag around. And this round, we're going to pull 10. So 2, 3. There's 9, and 1 more is 10. So put the bag to the side. And so let's assess what we got. So we got some stuff here. Whoop. Moved my board. Got some 0s. Got some 1s, and got a smoke in there. So with that, I'm not going to spend this here to get rid of that smoke, because we got a lot of smoke coming up. There's still a bad bean in there. I want to try and get as much out there as possible before we try and get rid of them. So I say we just toss that back into the back. Not much we can do about that right now. I'm going to say we're going to take this one, since we got it, put it right here, so we can unlock this guy, toss him back in the bag. Still early to try and do this, and plus we can't really split 2 beans into one with what we got. So we're going to take these 2, toss them back into the bag. So now we got some beans left. We're going to roast them here. Now remember, because we're here, they go up by 2. So this 1 goes back into the box, comes back a 3. All right, so we got these these zeros now. 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. They're going to go back into the box, and I need 5 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right into the bag. Shake it up a little bit. Move this over here to 11 now. Now, at any point, we can always stop what we're doing and brew our cup of coffee. But the longest we can run it is to the 14. So at any point, I could say, you know what, I think I have enough here. I can pull. I think I'm good. Or I can be, if I'm daring enough, and I think, or I can press my luck and try and make it go longer. But remember, the longer you go, the more likelihood you're going to draw those 3s and 4s that you're going to have into the bag. You're going to start burning beans, which are worth negative points at the end. We don't want that. So, we need 11 this round. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one more. This guy sounds good. There we go. Let's put our bag. And let's spread out what we got. Take a look. So again, we got only 1 smoke. That's the only negative in there. I don't feel good about using that yet, so we're going to toss her back in here. Oop. Missed the bag. There we go. So let's take a look at some of this stuff here. Now we might want to look at spending some stuff in here. So let's think. One thing that I like is I like getting the extra spot, because as you're drawing for the cups of coffee, you can put anything bad that you might not have gotten out of your roasting into there. But you also can put these regular beans in there when you're trying to get this number. So like this one says 14, so we're shooting for that. And if you're drawing a lot of the higher numbers, 3s and 4s, and you want to slow it down because you're only at your first couple of numbers, you might want to throw 3s and 4s over here so you don't overpower your cup. Likewise, if you're drawing a lot of lower numbers and you want to throw the lower numbers in there, a couple things to think about with that. Another thing is that guaranteed 3 is very nice too. So one that we can rule out automatically, the sweetness. So this doesn't require any kind of sweetness or anything like that, so we don't have to worry about this one. So the other 2 there are possibilities too. So what they are is, so this top one is selection. What selection means is you draw 2 tokens out of the bag for each 2 squares. You select one of them, put them in the space, and you put the second token back into the bag. And this one is your exchange. So exchange token is placed over here, and it's optional. It doesn't have to be carried out when you're doing it, but it basically allows you to replace 2 that you pull out and have put in there with 2 in the bag. So possibility there. I don't use those ones very often. These are the 2 that I usually go for. So what I'm going to do this round, so I'm going to use this green one here. I'm going to place it here. I'm going to shoot for that 3. So since placing it there, I have to use the action that's on here. So I'm going to put a bean back in here. I'm going to take this 3, and I'm not going to roast it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this in here. I think I'm going to use the blue. Oop, there we go. I'm I'm going to take this 2, and I'm going to turn into 2 1s. Okay, so there they are. Now they don't go in here to get roasted. They go right into the bag. So let's look at the other things. So this red of combining 2, not so much useful this round. So I'm going to put that one back into the bag. And then we're going to roast the rest of the beans. So we got 2 zeros, turn into 1s. And we got 3 2s. We're going to turn into 3s. So we're going to shake up the bag. We're going to go here. Now we got 3 more smoke tokens to go in here. Remember, this is where the higher heat goes, so everything's up by 2. So we have some 3s in here, so we got to watch out. Now we're pulling 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So we got a lot of the bad stuff in that one. However, we did not pull any of the wilds that we needed to get rid of it. So not helpful. So first thing, moisture automatically goes away. Nothing we can do about these bad ones, unfortunately. The luck of the pool did not help, so they go right back in the back. Now, sad news, we're going to burn this bean because we can't do anything about it. So it goes 3, 4, burn. So the 3 goes into the bag. We have to pull this burn. Goes in here. Not good, but let's take a look at the rest of the ones that we have here. So this 2 becomes a 4. 2 back in the bag, or into the box. 4 into the bag. 1 turns into a 3 this round. 1 into the box. 3 in the bag. Because remember, it goes up by 2. 0, 0, and 0. Becomes 2, 2, 2. So 13 now out of the bag here. Hopefully we can have a draw like we did this last time, and we can get rid of some of that bad stuff in there. Oh, and I forgot, since I filled this out, take this 3, I put it over here. So when I filled that out, I would have done that immediately. But so 13 out of the box, or out of the bag here. There is 13. So get rid of the random string we pulled here. So one thing we're going to think about too is we might want to start thinking about calling it here and trying and brew in our cup. But let's assess what some of the stuff we have in here. So we got some bad things in here. We have a 4, so we know we don't want to brew. So we're going to take this green. I'm going to put it over here. So we're going to get rid, and then just go straight into the box. These 2 smoke. This burnt bean that we burnt our stuff with. Make that go away. So let's take a look at what else we got. So that 4 is going back in the bag here, since I used it for this. So we got a couple options here. Now remember, we only have a limited amount of these specials over here. So I've used 2 of the greens, so there's only 1 more here, which is right up here. Now we do have that wild, that kind of helps. We use 1 of the blues, the other one's right here, but 1's there. So we got to be careful about using that too. Remember, we do have that wild, like I just said. Because we have these flavor points here that we're going to try and get the bonus points for if possible. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to, you know what, we're gonna risk it here. We're gonna risk it. We're not going to do anything with them. We're going to take these wilds. We're going to put it into the bag. Or not the wilds, but the specials. We're going to brew these 3s into 4s. This 2 is going to become a 3. And this 1 is going to turn into a 2. So I'm actually going to call it right there, and I'm going to brew my cup of coffee. We're going to shake this up. We're going to hope. I got the 3 spots here. I can pull some stuff out, and we're starting at a value of 3. So we're trying to keep it at 14, but we'll see what happens. So as you see these spots here, we have to fill these spots. If we can't fill all these spots, we lose points. Now, I can tell you there's enough beans and stuff in here that we're not having problems with that. So, first one here is going to be that wild. So we're going to place it here. That's going to be great. So it doesn't count for all of these. It counts for one of them, but we don't have to declare which one we're using it for. So we'll see which one we need it for and go from there. So next thing we're going to do, let's grab this one. Let's see what we got. The 2. I think we'll be alright putting the 2 in there. Some of those higher value ones, there's a couple of those in here I'm going to be kind of nervous at, but we'll see. So right now we've got a brew value of 5, shooting for 14, so we got 9 to play with. Okay, so we got a red, good. So we only need 1 more, whether it's blue or green doesn't matter. And grab this one here. Alright, so that's a bad one. We're going to throw it into that spot here. Out of the way. Got here. 4. We're going to throw that right in here. So, got a value of 9. So we got 5 more to throw out there. Only 5 spots. So we got to be careful on what we're going for. And here, ooh, another 4. So we're actually going to toss that 4 over here. We don't want to overpower because we're going to lose points from that maximum 10. I mean, if we're over this way. Now, if it goes above 18, it stays at 3, and then it goes to nothing. So we don't want that, ideally. Oh, another 4. Can we do it? I'm nervous if we put it here. So we're gonna throw the 4. We might make it a really strong cup, but you know what? It's just gonna It's just gonna be what it is. So we're at 13. And next thing, 2. So that puts us at 15, which is a 6-pointer. You know, we lost, out of the maximum 10. But hopefully we can fill those last 3 spots with something that'll be helpful. What do we got? A green. There we go. That's good. So we got the combination here. 2 more spots. If we can pull another 1 or 2 of those, I mean, that would be awesome. 4. We don't want to overpower that, so we're going to toss that there. And a 3. Fortunately, we got to throw it in there. The cup is just going to be too strong. And last pull, this guy. We got the blue. So there we go. So now we count up our points onto this one. So we got 3, 5, 9, 11, 15, 18. So we kept it on here, so it's a 3. Not the best cup of coffee. It's a little too strong. So you actually have over here a scoring sheet. So when you play this, you're supposed to do 3 cups of coffee. So you measure out. This is where this comes into play, where you're on your strength. So with this one we were at 18, so we would fill in 3 here. We look to see if we got our flavor points, 1 of each, which we got right there. Even without that bonus we would have had it, which is good. So you come over here, so that's a 6-point bonus. So right there we're at 10 points. Pretty good. Next thing we want to do is look at skill points. So skill points is if you have matches of these beans. So if you have 3 of the same number, you'd actually score bonus points in there. So we kind of were all over the place. We don't get any bonus there, but you can see you can actually get quite a bit. And then you get minus points. Bad bean, you came short. If you had one of the bads. If you had none of these in there at all, you lose points also. So that's none of the case there. So we look at that, we got 6, 4, so we would have had 10 points total. So not the best cup of coffee. You're shooting for getting 15 to 20 points. That's going to be your ideal area that you want to be in. And then you can move up to the higher values of coffee. So located into the box here, you have a bunch of beginners. Then you have some more beginners that are level 2s. Oop, there we go. And they're going to tell you over here too, like beginner. And you're going to have some moderate cups. Moderate. And then some experts, which are going to be extremely hard. So, and also with that, you're going to have level 1, level 2, and level 3. So that's all going to be here. You want to play a level 1, level 2, and level 3 to do that. So 1s, 2s, and then over here, level 3, like there's a beginner. You can see it's going to tell you like 38 beans are going into the cup at the beginning, 38, 40. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening with those higher level ones. So that's the basics of the game here. It's a push your luck mechanic, you know, pulling everything out of the bag here. When you can brew at any point, you kind of have to weigh what you have, try and maximize what you pull out of the bag. And you can't push it too much because then you can start burning the bag and start hurting yourself, because then you're going to be putting bad beans into the mix, and we don't want that. So, what do I think of the game here for my final thoughts? Excuse me. What do I think? Excuse me again. I can't get these words out. So what do I think about this game here? Final thoughts. I really like it. It's a real great game you got 30, 40 minutes by yourself. You can hammer out a couple cups of coffee this way, especially if you're a coffee fan. I'm a coffee fan. I drink a cup or two every day. This is a really fun game. Just brewing your cup. It's not super complicated. The rule book is not super dense to go through here, and it takes you through it, and it's fairly easy to understand. I think it's a fun game. Light. Yeah, I like it. One of the best features, though, as I showed you in the beginning, is having this here. So it easily sorts everything. It makes it nice to kind of keep everything organized here. The downside to that is because it doesn't have a lid, you can't store it on its side, like some people like to do that with their games. This game is a big no-no to do that, because then everything gets all mixed together. But at least the plus side to that is underneath it tells you what's supposed to be in each one, so you can reset it pretty easily. So that's Coffee Roasters here. This is with Evan with Tabletop Gaming Guild here. Like, subscribe to our content here. Tell us what you think in the comment section below. Things you want to see, comments about this video or any other ones that you have going on out there. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, find our Facebook group, and follow us on any of the other social media platforms out there. Like I said, Instagram, we have Twitter. Let us know what you think. Until later, this is Evan. Have a good night.